Hello and welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the game design where we put the anchovy in our pizza and I love it. And spaced out, of course. This is episode number 94, Suffering for Fun. I am the long name gamer as the Sweaty.
I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us on this episode. This week we get rid of all the fun and just sweat for the hard stuff.
Yeah. Take to win.
No, please stop.
No?
Please. Just done.
Alright. So our topic of today is... What?
Just don't do it.
Done? Oh. Anyways, our topic for today is how do we introduce meaningful difficulty in games, my friends? But before we deep dive into it and dive hard, right? Our discussion here is based on opinions and our own in-game experiences. Everything we say, opinionate, put on the table, define, and everything else can be up for discussion. If you don't like it or you like it, just let us know in any way, shape, or form you want. If you're watching us on YouTube, down in the comments below. And if you are on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, leave us a like or a comment, or do anything social that your platform lets you. This is the best way that you can show us that you like our show or don't. You can show that you don't like our show too. Yeah, you can do that, right? But just show us something, anything.
I mean, not anything, but...
But not anything. All right. So, my friend, ready to tax again?
Right, I think the mainframe community attacks again.
The mainframe community attacks again. Yeah. So the meme. Explain the meme for the people who is listening to us. Explain
the meme. So it is. It is a meme. There are 4 panels.
Yeah.
So imagine it's like this Souls-looking, low-quality parody.
Yeah.
Art.
Yeah.
So first panel are like these 2 knight-looking guys in armor. It says playing Warframe. Say, oh, it looks like they made the game easier because Warframe has a reputation.
Yeah.
Easy game, quote unquote. And then comes in the boss, which is stationed with the steel path, which is the increased, not armor, increased level mode. Yeah. Like basically all the things start like a low 100 or something. Insane. Correct. And then they say, oh, holy shit. And then he stabs one of them. Tashin takes his sword and stabs one of them with the steel path. And then in the last panel, Tashin says, is this too easy for you? The panel from the meme comes from the video called Happy Souls. It's it's from one of the... Not only, it's a guy that does like this low quality animation.
Yeah. It's super good video. It's like super good. And this gag where this meme is made up is fantastic. In the video. So that's the context. What is the thing that you bring, man, because of the meme?
It's basically the meme is basically a comment on how the difficulty in Warframe, or at least on Steel Path, comes kind of out of nowhere, like out of the blue, and it becomes so old to many players. It just curb stomps people the first time that they try it. Yeah, and it's definitely very hard to readjust your gameplay to deal with Steel Path.
All right.
Because definitely nothing else in the game is as hard and as punishing. They just get cursed on by anything.
Yeah, because generally,
if you're not well prepared.
Generally, all the things in Warframe are like not hard but time consuming, and that's it.
I don't agree with that completely.
Yeah.
It's not that they are not hard, it's that a lot of the tools are made to not trivialize, but like make a lot of the content fairly easy to be once you have acquired the correct tools.
Fair enough.
It's just that still bad, like you reach a point where you feel comfortable with the tools that you have to beat almost everything in the game.
Yeah.
And a still path is just too hard for that set of tools. You have to... It's not you have to relearn the game, but you have to rethink your approach to encounter the mission.
So it's too steep of a difficulty.
It definitely is for most people.
Yeah, it's like super steep, like a wall of craziness. Yeah. So with that,
that's kind of the criticism.
That's where the context comes in.
The thing is that it's not needed for anything really.
Yeah.
You don't need to still path at all. And most people, or I don't know if most, but like there is a portion of the community that doesn't engage with still path. That's fine.
Yeah.
There are others for whom that's the core of the game, and that's what they enjoy.
Yeah, the challenge.
That's what they've been asking for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
it.
That's it.
All right. So, yeah, there is hard content. So that's it. So let's start to decompress this. So what are different forms of difficulty in games? We're going to talk about how to properly increase difficulty and make difficulty interesting, right? Because there's different ways to do it.
There are different ways of making.
So what are the forms that generally difficulty increases or is applied in games?
Yes.
The first one is making you weaker. Right?
I don't know. You have to elaborate on what you're saying.
Yeah. So the first
you made
one,
a pause like you were gonna expect me to say something that I don't know. Elaborate your idea.
Maybe you were saying something. I saw you with the intention of saying something, but apparently you didn't.
No, I'm paying attention to you.
Right.
Paying attention to you.
The first one is making you weak or making you feel weak. So that's everything does more damage to you and everything kills you quicker, right? That's the first way. So to make the game feel more dangerous than normal is. That's one way to increase difficulty.
So do you mean by that just like increase the numbers?
Correct. Just increase the damage numbers. Everything one-shots you or two-shots you and hits harder.
Because there is something...
Yeah.
Let me think, how do I say this? Okay, so there are two ways of making you weak. By increasing the numbers.
Correct.
Or by actually taking power away from.
Yeah. Very rarely.
Which both at the ends have the same effect.
Correct. Yeah.
Like in practical terms.
In practical terms, yes.
But and many games for like storytelling reasons and things like that will resolve in to use the later one.
Correct.
Taking out power, like say, a storytelling device or some MacGuffin of thing to happen.
Correct. It's rarer that it does it, but generally they use it as a way to make you weaker so you can level up again. That's the general excuse. Or if to use it to make some scene or level more dramatic, and it removes some power for you. But it's rare that actually does that. The common thing to do is just make everything hit harder.
If you say that is rare, I'll take your word for it. But I don't know. It doesn't feel that rare.
It's not as common as a persistent mechanic to make difficulty. To make something more difficult is just used more as a... Generally, I'm not saying that it's not. It's generally more used as a dramatic tool. Or as a reset tool for making you re-level up. Right?
Could be.
Yeah, but the most common application is...
But when you said making you weaker, which one of both do you mean? Or do you mean both at the same time?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one, making you weaker. So everything hits harder, everything is more lethal, or you are losing some stuff or things, so you have disadvantages. So you have modifiers that, I don't know, and thinking in testing terms that
I wouldn't add modifiers that same place.
To that same bubble to make it weaker. So you put it apart.
Okay, like all difficulty is gonna make you feel weaker.
Yes.
Like all increasing difficulty will make you feel.
Yes.
So it doesn't make that's what I'm arguing. That you're saying it makes you feel weaker.
Yes, it makes you feel weaker.
But that's true for any type of increased difficulty.
Correct. All the difficulties is the same thing, right?
So
one way, because there's another way of difficulty where is coordination, and the other.
But before you pass through it,
like
adding modifiers, I don't think that falls into the same place that just making big numbers big. For example,
the thing is like making you feel weaker as a form of difficulty has many shapes, many ways to apply it, right?
Isn't the nuance in how those are different between them?
I group it in bigger categories than that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, making you weaker contains making the enemies stronger, putting modifiers on you, putting some kind of hindrance, limited to certain type of equipment. What is the other type? Making the enemies more beefier, and all the things that has to do with your relationship with the direct number systems in the game.
Okay.
Yeah. That is the making you feel weaker difficulty, which is the common one. The common way to scale difficulty in games. Every game uses it because it has to do with numbers and levels, and it is good for pace of the game and for using for signaling you clearly where you should be in the level that you are, and it's a common tool, right? Just tweaking numbers in relation to the systems. The other way
again, I feel like you're mixing two different things. Go ahead.
All right. The other way to make games difficulty is coordination. Right?
Sure.
How much coordination do you need if you can do an activity by yourself, or you need more people to do certain things? And that's a level of difficulty. To coordinate with your friends or not, to make certain things happen, and they punish you if your coordination is not good enough. Right? So the clearest example is raid mechanics and dungeon mechanics and that sort of stuff, and you need coordination with more people.
Sure.
Right? And the last difficulty knob is logical puzzle difficulty.
Okay.
And that includes platforming. Right? So how do I get from point A to point B, and how difficult is that? Right? How much do I have to think to take this piece and read this text and decipher X and Y thing? right? And that includes platforming. Where should I jump? What kind of mechanics should I use for doing this jump and solve this kind of puzzle? And those are the three major veins of difficulty in games. Okay. Logic or puzzles, numbers or making you feel weak, and coordination. Those are the three different forms of difficulty in games. Main ones. Right? Sounds good. And those three can be applied to a majority. Not all the games have all of the three. Some uses them in other way, shape, or forms. Generally, single player adventure games have the making you feel weak of the numbers difficulty, the tweak numbers difficulty, and the logic. They don't have any kind of coordination because you're generally playing alone. And in MMOs, you have more of these coordination difficulties. Right?
Right.
There you go. Of course, the numbers one covers a lot of different things. There's different shapes, weight, forms, but the principle is the same. You're changing the numbers in the gameplay systems to have some sort of effect. Less health regen to make it, but the effect tends to be the same. To make your enemies actually feel dangerous and threat. Right?
Sure.
Cool. All right. Those are the difficult forms in games. Can you imagine any other that doesn't fit in those three big categories?
Where would you add the place where you have to, like, in each difficulty you have to learn new stuff?
The difficulty that you have to learn to do new stuff. Where do I put it?
So for example, boss encounter. Yeah. It's still a solo game or a player, but the difficulties measure in how many mechanics you have to.
That would be the logic.
The boss has new movements or has new abilities that you didn't know before.
Yeah, that would be a puzzle. So you learn the patterns and put the puzzle together where you have to be to not get hit that much from the boss and defeat him in time.
Okay.
That in itself is a logic puzzle.
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
You don't seem very happy about it.
No, but I don't want to discuss this. Sure.
All right, he doesn't want to go into it. So those are the three main difficulties of the game in broader terms. Easy to understand, and they apply for 99 of the cases. Yeah. So, anything else about that, or are we okay? All right, cool. The eternal discussion: extra mechanics versus bigger numbers. Which one is better, or does one have its own place? So the question, in essence, here is, what of the three big mechanics for difficulty is "quote unquote" better, or feels better?
"Quote unquote" better.
Right?
Yes.
That is the essence of the question. So bigger numbers is the easiest one.
What do you mean by the easiest?
In terms of development time and what you have to tweak, the only thing you have to do is like increase a number. That's what I mean by the easiest one to apply, right? And
to implement, you mean?
To implement, yes, there you go. To implement into design. The hardest one is the extra mechanics or the logical puzzles, because you have to think and make extra animations and etc. etc. Of course, the most satisfactory one is the extra mechanics of the logic puzzle, because understanding there is a fundamental satisfaction in humans to solving something or understanding how something works. Is a very natural satisfaction when you apply it to games, right? Kind of, if everything is dangerous, the exercise that you're doing there is readjusting the way that you play. And that sometimes means using more of the environment, or you are punished for doing more mistakes. So it puts a little bit more pressure into the player, but it's not as satisfactory as solving something, right? It's just a thing more about
your opinion.
In my opinion, yeah. It's just
because that may not be a case for everyone.
Yeah, you're right. In math, it is more of in the terms of the extra numbers. It's more about patience and kind of learn how to play the game a little bit more differently and not being as YOLO as generally. That's kind of the effect that is that bigger numbers play, right?
But if you're saying that it has the effect of you learning to play the game in a different way,
yeah,
doesn't that cater to the same satisfaction of learning new mechanics?
Not necessarily, because if the game did his pacing, his difficulty pacing correct, you should have a very, very clear idea of how you're supposed to play the game, right? And the only difference between one and another is how much risk do you take while you are doing gameplay.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about
because like I would argue part of the beauty is the game not spelling everything out for you.
Part of the beauty is the game not spelling out for you. So letting you discover. Yeah, of course. Yeah. There is. I know what you mean. There is the discovery of learning how you like to play.
Not only that, but not only that. Like even for example, like you gave a very good example.
Yeah.
You are in an encounter now. All the enemies do more damage, and now you have to use the environment to your advantage.
Yeah.
Like the first time that you like if the game doesn't have to put to spell to you, oh, there is environment.
And you should cover, and you should use cover somehow.
But I would argue that part of the enjoyment is whenever you get hit by the wall of, okay, I cannot just stand in the middle of everything.
Correct.
You just go, I can use this piece of environment, use this piece of geometry.
Yeah.
It's just an increase in numbers, but it results in that effect of, I found the solution to this problem.
All right.
By hiding behind this little rock.
Yeah. Now I have to hid behind the rock. Yes. So
it's like you learn. Like there was nothing.
There was nothing before that pushes you to use to learn that.
There was no prompt. There is no. Just a beautiful rock and environment. But now it's useful.
Yeah. Correct.
And it's something that you learn.
Yes. So you're arguing that is that included into the maybe extra mechanics?
I'm not trying to.
That is included into the effect of using that type of difficulty.
It just I'm just saying that you made it sound like the numbers increase just makes everything bigger.
Yes.
I'm just saying that is not necessarily the worst case scenario, because that could achieve like you said that the satisfying thing about puzzles is that learning new things.
Yes.
Figuring out the solution.
Correct.
my point is, but you can achieve that just with big numbers, too.
All right.
Like you can achieve that same feeling. That's kind of the point that I'm.
Yes. Maybe I get what you mean. Maybe it's a thing about instant, like direct gratification.
Okay.
Right? Because with the difficulty increasing, you learn to play more cautiously, but the gratification doesn't come, or the reward for learning that doesn't come till you stop dying as much, right?
Okay.
Compared with a logic puzzle type of difficulty, that the gratification is instant once you know how to solve whatever the game is putting you in front of you.
I guess.
Yeah, it's more like directly. That's why it feels that the mechanics or the logic things are more satisfying, because it's directly, it's in your face. Yeah, it's in your face. Like, you figure out this, now you can do this fight properly, or you figure out this puzzle, now you can open this door.
I mean, you're kind of assuming that you can execute perfectly the mechanics all the time.
No. The other example is like, you figure this puzzle, now you can open the door to the new treasure or whatever, right? So it's just directly.
Yeah, but even in that case,
yeah,
you still have to execute the puzzle solution.
Yes.
Which that might not be easy all the time.
You're right. But you know what I mean, like
for example, the jumping puzzles in Destiny are not satisfying because you found the path.
Yeah.
But because you can't traverse them efficiently.
Correct. But
so
the
satisfaction doesn't come from knowing the solution.
The satisfaction comes from executing the solution clearly, right? Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yes. Maybe I was jumping.
So it is still less immediate.
Yeah, it's less immediate. That's exactly. Yeah.
But it's still a puzzle.
But it's still a readjustment or something that you learn. Yeah. A new form to play or whatever. No, it's less immediate. Yeah, that's the big difference. So that's why extra mechanics of puzzle feel more rewarding, because they're more immediate. That just making everything more dangerous.
But I just gave you an example of a puzzle that is in which the satisfaction is less immediate.
What?
Yeah. Your argument is that puzzles and mechanics are more satisfying because you get instant gratification.
Correct. When you do it, when you make them, when you finish them, or when you traverse them, or whatever. Yeah.
But and my point with the Destiny 2 jumping puzzles is the gratification doesn't come from just figuring out.
Yeah.
That's it. It's from the mastery of executing the puzzle itself.
Yeah.
And that's not instant gratification.
Yes, it is. You are instantly gratified once you do it and finish it.
Okay, I see what you mean. Sure.
All right. All right. So that's why the extra mechanics feel better than the bigger numbers. But I think both can complement each other. Like if you put dangerous enemies while you're trying to do a puzzle, it can work, but you have to. It is more nuance in the kind of encounter that you are working with, because you can use all these three types of difficulties in the same encounter to enhance or what is it? It's not contrast. It's like, it's against the same word. Or enhance a piece of your game, or a feeling inside the puzzle, inside the environment, or something like that, right? The difficulties are tools for that, for enhancing pieces of the flow of the game, of the flow of your game and your encounters.
Sure.
Right? But to the question, I think they're both if well used, equally effective. Right?
Okay.
In an ideal world, if I use correctly, bigger numbers, more difficulty, is going to be as exciting as good as solving a puzzle and executing.
Okay.
In an ideal world, what do you think? You think that one is better than the other in your experience? Or is more satisfying than the other? Or do you agree with me that is...
No, I think both can achieve the same.
Yeah. If they are well executed. That's what I get.
No shit.
Yes.
How should they're well executed?
Yes, shit.
That.
All right.
That's obvious. Sure.
Yeah. And this applies the same for coordination. It's the same thing. The same thing for coordination. But do you believe that coordination is even less instantly gratifying than these other two?
Oh, I do believe that none of them is instant gratification.
You believe that none of them is instant gratification?
Yeah, but I don't want to argue that with you.
Okay.
That's why I stopped before, because you're saying, yeah, this is like learning about mechanics is instant gratification. I disagree fundamentally with that statement.
I didn't say that learning the mechanics was instant gratification. It's like solving the puzzle was instant gratification.
It is not, because if you can solve a puzzle in such a manner that it gives you instant gratification,
yeah,
then the puzzle was not hard enough. Like the whole point of having a hard puzzle is it's gonna take a lot of time. They're putting a lot of effort in finding a solution.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's no instant gratification.
I know what you mean.
It just cannot be instant.
Yeah. It's not.
You know what's instant gratification? You got a lucky hatch.
All right. Yeah.
That's instant gratification.
Yeah. You're right.
You feel the rush and it just feels so good.
How to put
but
it?
But another thing is the gratification that you get from putting up the time.
Yeah.
Improve yourself so you can consistently get it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So that's one say that are those things conducive to instant gratification? I don't think puzzles, especially puzzles, are conducive to instant gratification at all, because that's the whole point. You put a lot of effort and time solving.
All right, I see your point. Yeah.
So that's I know what you mean by, or what you were trying to mean by instant gratification.
Yeah, maybe the it's not that. It's more. I don't know. It's like it's more clear than the other two types of difficulties.
What do you mean by that?
Like, all right. It's easier to see what you need to do to solve a puzzle, no matter how long it is.
No.
What?
No, that's the point of a puzzle. That is hard to figure out. Again, if you can see easily, then the puzzle is not challenging.
All right, yeah. That's not what I mean.
The whole point of a puzzle is that it's not obvious to you. That you look at it and you say, I don't know how to solve it.
All right.
If you see the solution, then
let me try to put it in some other way. For a player, it's easier to see when they are done with a puzzle.
What do you mean by that?
Like, it's like, all right, you have to do X and Y to open this chest, right? And sure. X and Y means go and look for lore, and then go to another place and bring a thing, and then go back to the other place and bring the other thing, and then figure out where is the location that you have to do via text, and whatever steps it takes you to solve what you're trying to solve to open the chest, right?
Okay.
Right? And then when you do all the things and open the chest, you're done with the puzzle. And you get the reward.
What you're describing doesn't sound like a puzzle. It sounds like a set of instructions laying in front of your eyes.
I'm doing it like an easy an easy example, right? Because the puzzle part is that you had to go and read a lore and figure out where you have to go in an environment to pick up a thing to open the chest, right?
Okay, but then the satisfaction at that point doesn't come from doing the thing, but knowing, oh, this is the solution. That took a lot of effort, and then you feel the satisfaction there. If the execution of that is easy, it's just, okay, just go pick this thing up and then go talk to this guy.
Yes.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah. yes. What you're saying is correct. So there is a satisfaction to solve the steps of what you're trying to do, right?
If that is the part, like, if that's what's consuming your time, yes. But sometimes that's not the part that is time consuming. Sometimes if it is, that's need to jump in puzzle. You see, okay, it's very easy to see that I have to jump there.
Yeah.
But you don't get, like, you make the jump and say, okay, I made the jump. What I argue is that, for example, in that case, it's more satisfying when you reach the point where you can do all the things with a thing. I gain more satisfaction from the mastery than just knowing, oh, look, I see that ledge right there.
Yeah. but
like the point where you're racing against your friends to see who can make it faster.
No, but that's not my point. My point is that
I know that that's not your point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if the puzzle itself is easy and it's like, oh, it's the ledge, I have to jump to that one.
Yeah. All right.
Like figuring that out is not, it's not difficult and it's not satisfying at all. It's the satisfaction comes from the compounding effect of.
I agree with you. Maybe it's not a thing about satisfaction. Is more a thing of being more tangible. Like this.
So give me an example. So give me an example of something that you say is very tangible.
In terms of the puzzle difficulty. Solving the puzzle is more tangible than learning how to fight against more difficult monsters that are more lethal, or coordinating with other people, right?
Okay, I see what you mean.
There we go. Communication is hard.
Sure, yes, it's more tangible. I see what you mean.
Yeah, and that is the reason why it feels more important or better, because it's more tangible.
In your opinion, again.
In my opinion, it is my opinion, yes.
Because I disagree with that statement, but...
Yes. But in my opinion, that is the reason why it feels like a better difficulty curve, because it's more tangible than the other two.
I completely disagree with that, but sure.
All right. Why do you disagree with it?
Oh, because I find more satisfying. Like I find it. I feel better.
Yeah.
When I see the result of a lot of time and intangible hard work put in.
Yeah, but that is the tangibility of those difficulties.
No, it's not. It's very intangible.
The results are the tangible thing. That's the thing that you can point at and say, like, oh yeah, this is the result of me beating the other types of difficulty.
I mean, the result is always going to be tangible because you always have a reward.
Yes. But I mean still, that the puzzle sides are more are generally more tangible than the other two.
They are more tangible for sure. Yeah, I don't think that makes them more valuable.
All right, yeah, that's where we disagree, because I believe that is what makes them in general more valuable for more people. And as we established before, disagree with that. And as we established before, all the difficulties are equally important. if well executed, and can give you equal. They can give you equal reward and satisfaction if they're well executed, right? But I feel like the puzzle one kind of seems like the more important because the most tangible and easier to understand.
In your opinion? Because I completely disagree with that.
All right.
I do
because I
prefer to I prefer coordinated based effort.
Yeah, you prefer
coordinated. And I get more satisfaction out of that, and I think those are more satisfying.
All right. Yeah, we differ in that opinion. Yes, that is correct. that is valid things that we differ on. All right. So yeah. Now that's clear, do all games need to be hard and difficult? Why does Warframe need the steel pad? Difficulty, as we discussed in some other episodes, is directly related to challenge, right? And as we discussed in other episodes, accomplishments and challenges gives value to the game experience, right? All these questions about the end game and everything else are related to this. So why does Warframe need steel pad? So why games needs higher difficulties or more challenging modifiers? It has to be directly related to that sense of accomplishment and challenge. So
but do all games need
difficulties?
Or like something that is considered difficult?
Not necessarily. Be my answer. Some games, especially in the easy example, is if you are telling a story in a story-based game, the difficult can hinder the pace of the game and the pace of the story that you're telling, right? And some difficulties can be better for you, like making the game super difficult. It can help on your story if you're telling a story about struggle and patience and that sort of stuff. That's one of the reasons why Dark Souls doesn't have a difficulty per se, because they have a fixed difficulty because they're aiming to a particular experience, right? That's why, in my opinion, a lot of the best way to play a game for the first time is put it in whatever is his story mode, which is the difficulty that the developer is aiming to tell the story of the game, to whatever that means, right? Why and then we get to the discussion of the internet that why games need easy mode and easier difficulties or harder difficulties, and that is more related to literacy with games. Some people just are not very used to be literate with games, or they're not very dexterous with the games, but they still want to experience the story or see what the game is about, or the mechanics, or if they like the art and that sort of stuff. And you have to give them the option of entrance always, but be aware that you are sometimes losing certain impacts that are designed for the default experience, right? And the same applies to the other side. If you are a very literate game and you don't want it to just like rush through it because you know exactly what you do in this type of game, then all right, I want an extra challenge for me because I'm good, quote unquote, or I'm more literated. What is that word? Knowledgeable. I have more knowledge in games, maybe. Yeah, knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So I want that extra challenge for me to have a better enjoyment of the game, right? But as the example of Dark Souls, no, not all the games have needs an hard difficulty. In case of the MMOs, which is the other side of the argument, or the live services, they are more in the side of creating difficulty for challenge purposes and for achievement purposes than any other example. What do you think about that?
I think that you should give me examples of all the things that you're saying.
All right, so easy. First example, game without difficulty, Dark Souls. The whole point of that game is a struggle. That the whole design of that game is that you should hit your head against the brick.
That's not a good example because it's a game that it's known for being just difficult.
Yeah.
In general, it's a hard game.
But it doesn't have a difficulty. That's what I mean.
It doesn't have a difficulty slider.
Correct.
But
it doesn't have
a difficult game on itself.
Yes.
So it's a bad example.
All right. The Last of Us.
Okay.
Yeah, The Last of Us has, or any other type of a story-driven game, right? Generally, the pace is the sign of thing in a default difficulty, which is story mode, right?
Okay, sure.
But if you're not very familiar with the third-person combat mode, and it's the first time that you are experiencing the third combat mode, or is the second or third game that you pick up and you like the story, then there is an easy mode for you, so you learn and don't struggle that much with the normal difficulty. If that is to that point when you're not literate enough to understand the game to that degree, right?
Okay, but that I feel like you're boxing that case because, like, sometimes you want to play a game without paying attention to it, just kind of in this relaxation state where you don't want to be challenged by the difficulty of the game. You just want kind of to pass your time on a mindless activity. And then that's
okay, yeah.
That's not because you're not proficient with games.
Yeah.
You just wanna chill.
Yeah, it's a valid option to pick up an easier difficulty.
And there are some types of games where you may not want to pick the harder difficulty.
Yeah.
You just want to chill on those games.
Yeah.
Even if you decide to pick difficult, like to pick difficult activities in art.
Yeah. Correct.
So all I'm saying is that you shouldn't enclose the existence of easy mode just for people who don't know things. I think that's.
You say that easy mode is not necessarily solely for the people that are not video game literate enough.
It's for the people who don't care about a specific game, like getting super invested in a specific game.
Okay, yeah. Or I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good reason too. Yes.
Like I play a lot of games in story mode because I don't care about beating Batman Arkham Asylum. It's super hard.
You just want to see what happens in the game.
Yeah. I want to see the pretty pictures. I want to play around with the cool Batman.
Yeah. You're right.
I don't want to invest my time into learning the stupid game. I don't care.
Yeah. Yes.
Does that mean that I know that I'm less literate about games? No, just I cannot bother.
Fair enough. Right. So that's the other case that the low difficulty exists for.
We all do that.
Yeah, I've done it too. Yeah, I've done it. Put a game in easy to just like breeze through it and see certain.
Just breeze through it. Just enjoy the ride. Just see what is there to offer.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Just
chill. Yes. I find the thing is, like, for me, generally story mode is easy mode. That's why I kind of put it into more of a literacy problem. But you're right.
Don't.
Yeah.
You're trying to sell yourself. Be honest with yourself. Just don't care.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe it's more skewed by me, by my experience.
No, it's not by your experience. You're trying to say, "Oh, I'm so good at video games." So
I'm not trying to say I'm so good at video games.
That's what you're saying.
I'm not trying to say that.
That's how you're coming. That's what you're saying.
All right. My argument is more of that the difficulty. That there is an importance of difficulty inside the design of the experience. That's all that I wanted to say.
Related to accessibility, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about the hard part of the game. Of course, we're disregarding the accessibility.
All right.
like if you're gonna invest your time into like getting into fucking nightmare mode in a game.
Yeah.
This is not for the person who. This is the first time that you pick a fucking game controller.
Yeah. Of course.
So I'm completely disregarding that portion right now.
All right.
I know that it's important, and I know that it exists.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But that's not what we're talking about.
All right. So yeah, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, where I was going is yes, no games doesn't need a hard difficulty. It depends of what is your intention with the game. All right, if you want to give the player challenge it, and there is always it's always a choice that you can give the player. If the player can
at
challenge,
the point, like
yeah.
I still believe that no matter your intention, it doesn't hurt if you give the easy option, even if sometimes it go in detriment of the whole experience that you're designing.
Yeah, that was kind of my point. Yeah.
Just
in some shape.
do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Yeah. It's always give like the more power that you give to the player to experience your thing, whatever he wants to experience it, the better, the more plays you have, and the better for the player. I agree with that.
You can always put disclaimers. This game is intended to be played in this difficult challenge.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I always assume that all the games are intended to play in story mode in terms of a design perspective.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case though.
You don't say that's not the case all the time, or do you think they're all liars?
I don't think that they're liars. I think like you may design to a game to be played on hard. And that's like the way that you, the person who developed the game, think is the best experience.
But if that is your intention, then you do hard mode, the normal mode.
But you still,
unless in some shape you like tell the player that that's the best way to play the game.
Not the best, the intended way.
The intended way, yeah.
Doesn't mean it's the best.
Yeah. The intended. You're right. The intended way.
Yeah. You can do that. It's not, you have the technology to put letters on screens.
Just tell them that this game is intended to be played in this difficulty. But the generally the logic is, I don't know. It could be an assumption. It could be my assumption, but
you are assuming that.
Yeah. I'm assuming that generally that the intended mode is story mode. I always assume that. Could be wrong.
Yes, you're assuming that. You could be wrong.
Yeah.
Because story mode could exist in some games just for the people who just want to tour the game. Just sit on a cart in the.
I know what you mean. Yeah, you're right.
In the park and just go through.
Yeah. And it's technically the easy mode.
Yeah.
But it has another name. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because you don't want to call it easy mode.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Yes. So generally, some games are designed for certain types of difficulties. Talking about that, what do you think about the fact that Destiny is kind of putting a higher difficulty in their quest mode, in the quest type of game?
I don't think anything about that.
No? Do you think it's good that they're giving the player the choice to play the quest mode or the story mode in a higher difficulty?
Do you mean the quest missions?
Yep.
I mean, if they can do it, why not?
Very good. All right, that's all I would.
Like, do they gain anything from that? I don't think so.
We will know.
I don't think that benefits the game at all. I don't think that's a thing that the game needs or lacks.
All right.
And my problems with Destiny do not reside on the fact that the story missions
are too easy. All right, fair enough. Yeah.
Those are the problems that the game has for me. So is this necessary? No. Does this solve the RPG elements of Destiny 2? No. Not really.
Fair enough.
Do people care about replaying the story mission? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Have you ever, you play a lot, have you ever replayed the story?
No. The point is to give you the option of playing the story in a harder difficulty.
Sure, but that's in place for new play. Because veteran players like yourself won't play the story mission.
No, unless there is a good reward of replaying the story mission in a higher difficulty.
Yeah, unless you're hunting for an achievement.
Yeah, or whatever.
Or a collectible. And if that's the case, you just want to blaze through.
Yeah, you're right.
Put it on the easier difficulty, blast everything out of the fucking universe, and go get your collectible.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what is this trying to... What problem is this trying to...
Yeah.
I don't think any. Or I never thought that there was a problem with the story.
Fair enough.
They were easy, yes, but I don't think Destiny ever marketed itself as this is the horror grueling first-person shooting. No, it has a story. The story missions are kind of easy. Just there to see the villains laughing around and saying silly things for the lore. And that's it.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. All right, so how to ease players into the harder difficulties? But I have a do we have to ease players into harder difficulties?
Sometimes we do, sometimes
we want to keep them in constant challenge mode, but with this point in difficulty is a lot of games does the scaling difficulty thing.
Yeah, but the scaling difficulty doesn't mean like choosing a difficulty on a slider kind of thing.
Yeah,
is not easing player into difficulty. Yeah. That's just giving you the option.
Yeah, my point, I think the question is more: do we have to ease players into harder difficulties? I think the answer is generally yes. If you teach your game correctly, any player should be able to play in hard difficulties.
Like for example, if you intend the game to be played at a certain difficulty and you still create easier ones, you definitely should ease them into that because if you, the developer, still think that there is a preferred way or an intended way of playing it, you should definitely design tools to ease your players into what you think is the proper way.
Is the correct difficulty, all right? Like what? Like making moments on the difficulty that they choose a little bit harder.
How I don't know.
Yeah, but you can. Because you can have all right, you have things like if you have 3 difficulties, any of them, then you have some boss that is in the one difficulty higher than the other, or some encounter that is a little bit more difficult, but it feels inside the pace of the game, because you can combine. You can combine not only scaling difficulties from one point to the other. So if you have choose difficulty, the game with a good pace should get naturally more difficulty the more you advance into the game, right?
Now,
because
maybe,
you generally are learning more and more of the game the more you play it.
Sure.
Yeah. So the way that you can do this, if your aiming point is the player should play in this difficulty because it's the difficulty intended for the game to be experienced in the base way or how it was designed. One way to do it is that you just increase the difficulty, but the difficulty that you choose is starting point. So in some point, you will get an overlap, right?
Not necessarily. Like the difficulty progression doesn't have to be that steep, or the steps in between difficulties could be larger enough.
Yes, but
so they don't have to intersect at any point.
But to ease a player in a hard difficulty, it's better to have a progressive difficulty increase instead of just a steep one.
Sure. Yes, for sure.
Right?
If that's the intention, yes, I do agree with that.
If that's the intention to actually take the player to a level that you want him to play, then you just do it incrementally, right?
For sure.
Even if he starts from the lowest difficulty, and it's an example, by the middle of the game, you know that player is playing in normal difficulty if you start from normal from the beginning, and so on and so forth. And you can vary that. You can keep the difficulty uniform in normal and not increase it that much. You can be more incremental in easier, less in hard, etc.
Sure.
You can play with that sort of stuff. So that's the way to. I think that's the better way to ease players into difficult things, right? With the other two is giving them base puzzles and then making the puzzles more complex. And with the coordination is giving them coordination with less people and then with a lot of people, which is the way that you ease people into increasing difficulties of those two other types.
I don't know, for coordination, you could increase the things that you have to coordinate to be successful.
Yeah.
Instead of just having more people. Because maybe your content is not going to be assigned for more.
All right. Okay.
That's
more than the people,
only...
the number of things that you have to do, more than the number of people that you have to coordinate.
Because it could be that the easy mode is you just have one thing to coordinate.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
and you have to coordinate two things at the same time. Three things. Give extra responsibilities to each player.
All right,
while they're coordinating the rest. And that increases the difficulty of the execution. Because again, not all the time having more people is the answer.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's just different knobs or axes that you can use to use them. So the question is curious. Is it is it your intention to make your player better? if it's your intention to make player better,
it's also not about making them better per se.
Yeah,
it is about basically transitioning a player that is just visiting your theme park into an avid fan of your franchise.
I know what you mean. That because challenging tend to challenge things or challenge or accomplishment in challenging things tend to be more engaging.
Yeah, it will mean that people will spend more time playing your game.
Yes.
Will invest more out of them into a game.
Yes.
Generate.
Yes. Yeah, it is absolutely true.
It's a snowball effect. It's something that MMOs, for example, rely.
Yeah, this has
difficulty. The difficulty there is not only to for the prestige of it.
Yeah.
It's there to show just It's just the more invested, like to get to that point, the players invest more time, so it's this snowball effect.
And then you drive more engagement, and then you get more in franchise, and etc. etc.
And that's very important for live service.
In the example of live service, yes, absolutely.
That's the moneymaker.
That you are 100% right. That's a great reason to ease players into harder difficulties. Get them more engaged.
You want hardcore fans as toxic as they are.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I was thinking in the single player side of things, but in the multiplayer action side of things, yes.
Even on the single player, that could be still like that could be still a factor if replayability is a thing for you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Because even for a lot of story-driven games, it's not like you ideally, just as a corporation who's selling a product.
Yeah.
You don't want people using it once and never touching it ever again.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
right. Yeah, and that's
so
maybe...
That's why that idea of replayability is important.
Yeah. And that's mainly the reason of the majority of difficulties are scaling difficulties.
That's one of.
It's very rare that you see a game with a normalized difficulty, unless the intention is that. Unless the intention is just fly through the game and not care much about things. And even in those cases, you always try at least a little bit to challenge your player to see if he's interested in that side of the game. Right?
That's.
It's
definitely an option.
Yes. All right. Finally, fun versus punishing difficulties. How to do it? When is it too much? Is it Dark Souls too much?
I don't care about Dark Souls.
Well, that's because that's the perfect example of punishing versus fun.
It's your perfect example. No?
All right, is my
again? I don't care about Dark Souls. Whatever you're gonna say, I do not care.
Whatever you. All right, so that's it for today's episode.
No, just whatever you said in terms of Dark Souls, I don't care about Dark Souls.
All right.
So you're gonna hit me with an example of something that is completely unrelated.
All right. What do you consider punishing?
Why do I consider punishing?
Yes.
That's very hard to answer.
Yeah. Is it punishing an entire reset of a level?
It's very hard to answer because it depends.
Yeah, that is the question.
Completely depends on the game.
What do you consider the punish of a difficulty should be?
It depends on the game.
Yeah. Generally the examples is if you're against a punishing activity, I'm trying to put it in the most generic terms that I can. Either the punish is you lose your progress completely.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you damage your equipment in some shape, way, or form, or whatever you put on, or you get resetted to a certain point, or you have certain checkpoints to reach, and you always get back to those checkpoints. So what is to punishing?
It still depends because, for example...
Yeah. No, I agree. Still depends. Yeah. Give me an example.
If we're talking about MMOs,
yeah.
like for example, losing loot in an MMO, I think it's too punishing.
Yes, all right.
Like losing something that you have put many hours to acquire is too much.
Yeah.
Because MMOs exist in this persistent world that you cannot reset to a previous state.
Yeah,
if you lose something, it's gone. So that's too much.
Yeah.
But if you're punishing just with time in general, like as you need to invest time to repair, or invest time to gather another attempt at the activity, something like that.
Yeah.
That's fine. And you could argue that both are punishing time, but it's just the way that the time is punished is different.
So it's how do you punish the important thing? To make it the whatever you're doing not unfun, right?
Yeah, because if it is like if it is some like a boss encounter, let's a la Monster Hunt.
Yeah.
Then let's say they give you 1 life on the hunt.
Yeah.
If you fail and you lose all the progress of that fight.
Correct.
Like you didn't lose all the quote unquote meta progress character.
Yeah.
But you lost all the, in a sense, all the time and
resources invested.
Resources and maybe you get a couple of lucky hits. Say, oh, this time I got it.
Yeah. So then the question becomes.
That's fine.
Then the question becomes: can we define fair punishing for everybody? Because these kind of things, like what is punishing, what is fun, is a personal thing. What do you consider fair punishing, or what do you consider to be fun or not, is more of a personal thing, right?
It definitely is more of a personal thing.
Yeah.
But more than that, I think it's something that is closely related to how your reward system is structured.
Okay. With that said, that in mind, then you will consider that punishing in time invested is the fairer way to punish.
For some games, it is. For some games, it's not.
All right. And it becomes more difficult to define even so, right?
Yeah, it is like at the end of the day, any type of punishment always is going to come down to time.
Yes.
Because that's all we invest in game, time. Yes. It's not, we're not talking about slot machines, we're just wasting money.
Yeah.
we're kind of leaving those out of this.
Yeah, correct. But my point to all this is how to define what is a correct punishing, not unfun difficulty is an absolutely case-by-case thing. I cannot do... I'm unable to do generally concept about this. It's like you have to take whatever mechanics that you do in whatever in the metrics that you do in the gameplay and in the particular game, and checking at your reward structure and what does the player base consider fair or not, and take it from there, right? Unless you have an absolute idea like Dark Souls, right? Where the point of your game is just being punishing. It's just making the player struggle. And that's why I'm saying like the extreme example is Dark Souls, right?
Still doesn't work.
People love the game. Dark Souls in his niche genre is a successful game, right?
I'm saying, is it not?
Yeah, no. But that's why when you're talking about this, generally the first thing that you try to discuss is the extreme example.
I disagree. Right? Check out Monster Hunter. It's a better example.
All right, or Monster Hunter. Yeah, you can take a Monster Hunter, but it is the same thing. You have to consider a case by case. What do you consider fairly punishing in your game, right? Because the core of Dark Souls is the war is bad and he hates everybody. So I'm gonna be as punishing as I can to make you feel an excessive amount of reward when you actually do something, right? Just working by contrast. And it's the same in other games. How much rewarding do you want your player feel when they are against a difficult activity is proportional to how much punishment the activity has. Even if it's considered fair or not fair. Right? So that's why it's a case-by-case design thing. Yeah? Absolutely, it's an amazing... Punishing is an amazing tool for making something interesting and rewarding. But you have to be careful of what kind of player you're aiming to for the experience and the context that your game has.
Yes.
Yes?
Sure.
Yes! That is my opinions about balancing punishing and fun. Context matters. It's a great tool to feel your players rewarded, but you have to be careful when you use it. Because too much and you end up in Dark Souls territory, which is a great game, but it's a very particular type of game that is attracting to, and not every game will consider fair. So yeah, what do you think about that?
That I don't care about Dark Souls. Yeah. That's what I think about.
But I don't think it's never too much. Because it depends of your...
so sometimes it's too much, because it depends. What I mean is like, it's not that... what I wanted to say is that it's not that you have to be limited into how much punishment do you want to put into an activity. Yes, you have to.
Yeah, you can put as much punishment as you want. If you think that is the intention of the activity, you want it to be as punishing as possible, just to make it more rewarding for your player base, and you feel that your player base will find it satisfactory, then you can make it as punishing as you want.
Okay, so next time you die in the city, they should wipe your account.
Alright, I get it. I know what you mean. Alright, yeah. Sometimes it's too much, yes.
Of course.
Sometimes it's too much. Yeah. You wipe your account, Jesus. There is modes there's hardcore modes when you just die and they wipe your character or whatever. To be fair.
Sure.
To be fair.
I know, but
yeah.
But for some people that is too much.
Yes.
So there is too much.
There is too much, but but that's the thing. For some people, that is too much. But there is some people who will find it interesting.
Still, it's too much.
Because there is people who play hardcore mode when they delete everything they do.
But there's still a line.
There is still a line, but I don't feel it's a line that I can like. I don't feel there is a line that I can put somewhere in general. You know what I mean? That be fine without the context in generality of games.
But there is always a point where it's too much. Like for each game, there is a line where it is too much.
For each game, there is a line where it is too much. What is the most extreme thing that you think that is the line for too punishment? Because generally,
I don't know.
This kind of punishing difficulties are optional, and they tell you what you are risking.
Yeah, of course, because you want people to make informed decisions.
Correct. Yeah. So, where is the line? Delete your character? That exists. That is a form of punishment in a lot of hardcore modes.
Yeah, but there is a line. Like, you still get to try again. Could be this is a one-time only.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
There is a line.
There is a line somewhere, but it's a case again. As previously said, it's a case-by-case thing. That's my point. Yeah, my point is it's not that I can generally define, but there is a line.
There's always a line.
Yeah.
There is a line for each case.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, difficulty is fun. I will say that. Make difficult things is fun in a way that it gives you a challenge reward to get, or a prestige, or makes you feel smarter, or whatever else. Right?
Yeah.
So anything else to add to this difficulty discussion, my friend?
Really?
What?
Not really.
Not really? Everything is cool? Everything is good? We didn't miss anything?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we didn't miss anything. So yeah, that's it for a deep dive. Difficulty is fun as long as you manage it properly.
As many things in life.
Yeah, as many things in life. So we move to our audience questions and feedback. Remember, if you wanna have your burning questions answered here on a podcast, you can leave your comments, your questions down below. You can send your questions, comments, or everything else in any way, shape, or form, or myriad of social media accounts. Lucho's Twitter, my Twitter, direct messages, email of the... We read the emails on for the Long Name Gamer account thingy. You can pass by my Twitch and what?
Sure.
You can pass by my Twitch and leave it there. So, first question of this week is there such a thing as good FOMO?
I mean, in a sense, FOMO is it on itself is kind of neutral.
It's a neutral force of the universe.
No, it's something that happens.
Yes. It's
just human nature.
Yes, correct.
Makes it bad or good is not.
It's not
the fear itself. Is how people decide to exploit it or use it or take advantage of.
So technically, it could be good FOMO.
I mean, good. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, right. It could be a good event.
I mean, like people still in MMOs like time limited stuff.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, perfect.
People do enjoy those things. Community like them, and they usually praise games that have those
unique rewards. So technically, yeah, as you say, it's neutral. So how you use it makes it good or bad.
It comes down to how you end up implementing stuff.
Correct.
And to small details.
Correct. And our second question of the week is, how related are FOMO and engagement metrics in video games?
Probably a lot.
Probably directly related, because you use FOMO to drive engagement.
That's probably one of the tools that they use to drive engagement. May not be the only one,
but it's clearly the biggest one.
One of, I don't even know if the biggest one, but it's up there.
It's up there. Yeah, that's why you have constant reminders of this game is coming out and has this blah 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 blah, and then there is this event coming out, and if you have X and Y.
That's why pre-orders and
that's why pre-orders are a thing,
and all those things. For as predatory as they are very successful marketing practice.
Yeah, FOMO is very related to engagement metrics.
And those things generate, for example, a lot of press.
Yes.
That press good or as some people say, no bad press is bad press. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll still drive people talk about the product.
Yeah.
Probably try it and.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's the relation directly with engagement matrix. It's very related, and video game executives really like engagement matrix, so they apply more FOMO to everything.
That's the money maker.
That's the money maker, the cash printer. All right, and that is it for our episode, my friend.
That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in into The Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Designer. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Luis J. Polanco.
And I am the London Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at the London Gamer, and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LondonGamer, where I stream new work coming on. I'm gonna stream some stuff this week. You'll be checking in, and a surprise giveaway for sure. That would be a surprise giveaway. So you follow me on your social media. You probably have been seeing the promotion for the surprise giveaway. So follow me on your social media. What are you doing?
Me?
Not only to see the giveaway, but to see when I'm going live. And if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to share, likes, and subscribe to The Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Designer. I love you all. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know fishermen prefer to fish anchovies on nights with a full moon, with their silver body when they shine in the water under the moon? They're romantic fishes. They want dinners of candlelight. And the traditional method of processing and preserving anchovies is to gut and salt them in brine, allow them to mature, and then pack them in oil or salt. And they're delicious fishes, right?
Anchovies can concentrate domoic acid, which causes amnesic shellfish poisoning in humans when eaten whole. To select the freshest anchovies, look carefully at their eyes, which should be bright and protruding, with an iris that is black and not red.
And not red in it. All right. Do you like anchovies?
No.
You don't like anchovies?
No, they're just salty.
But have you have like anchovies on pizza?
They're just salty.
They're just salty? That's it? You don't like salty things?
No.
I love anchovies.
Like
They're the best. I love anchovies in pizza. They're the best. Pizza anchovies.
Good for you.
Yeah, and now it's impossible to find.
They're just salty.
But they're so good, Lucho. Have you tried them?
Like ultra salty stuff? Yes, I like it.
You don't like them? You like the things that I like, Lucho. You're the worst.
Because I have good taste.